my name is Brett Boyd and welcome to NOMA. One of the benefits of this organization is that we work with a lot of data. Arguably, we work with the largest database of useful public data in the world. And what that allows us to do is really look across the breadth of this enormous database and identify anomalies and draw conclusions. And one of the bodies of work that I'm very proud of and excited to talk about here is our long-term analysis of the macroeconomic forecasting agencies. So we pulled data in from the 5 major forecasting agencies, the IMF, the European Commission, the OECD, the UN, and the World Bank. And we really have an opportunity to step back, and we've done a lot of work around looking at how forecasters perform, what agencies perform well in what forecast categories, and in general, what forecasting as a profession or as a body looks like globally. And the purpose of this piece of research here is just to identify and highlight some of our high-level conclusions from this body of research. And some of this, from my perspective, was very counterintuitive and fascinating. The first idea here that I think is very interesting is the idea that even though we have had these huge increases in data, in technology, the whole software revolution of the past 15 years, macroeconomic forecasting agencies are actually not any better as a result of all of those benefits than they were previously. This we found to be counterintuitive and interesting. Secondly, when you actually look at the body of work of these agencies here, if you were to take a forecast model where all you did was look at last year's values and assume this year is going to have the same values, that would perform in general about the same as the net forecasts of all of these forecasting agencies, which again, also we find very interesting. When you dissect this a little bit, you see that that agencies tend to underestimate both growth and volatility. So they miss on both ends of the curve. So now when we think about who cares and what the point is of this, the core body of this research here, what we really were trying to do is figure out to say, okay, so if as an overall entity here, these forecasts only perform about as well as taken prior year values, how can we make this useful? And what are the best forecasting values to pull in a model here? And what we've discovered here is that if you actually dissect and backwards test all of these agencies, by forecast category, by timeline, you actually see patterns emerge where different agencies are better at forecasting different things on different timelines, right? So if you're going to look at specific commodity categories or country growth forecasts, you would want to pull in the specific agency maybe for a 1-year forecast, a different one for a 3-year forecast, et cetera. And what we're exploring with this work here is how do we build a forecast model that basically includes a basket of forecasts where we put together all of the best agencies at what they are forecasting to build a coherent model going forward. So this is basically the body of work that we're trying to enable here. And we're very excited about building some tools to bring these into some of our customers' forecasting processes. But we wanted to share our research and some of our foundational thinking about how macroeconomic forecasting works and how you should think about building forecast models for your organizations. Thank you for your time.